Welcome back everyone to our Above Snakes Devlog series. It's been a while, but we are back with an exclusive look behind the scenes of the development. In case you forgot, we are working on a survival game called Above Snakes, in which you can create your own world from isometric world pieces, and we are releasing it on May 25th. In this video, we will talk about our free demo Above Snakes Prologue, the feedback we received after releasing it, and the improvements we made to the game based on that. End of March, we released a free demo of the game that we call Above Snakes Prologue, and we want to thank everybody that played and gave us feedback. This was incredibly helpful for us to know which game mechanics we need to adjust before the release of the full game. We will talk about some of the improvements we did to the game later in the video. It was unbelievable how well Above Snakes Prologue was received by players, and we are currently sitting on a Steam rating of 92%. Over the course of almost 2 months, our free demo Above Snakes Prologue has been downloaded more than 400,000 times. This is an insane amount, and we want to say a big thank you to everybody who downloaded and played it. With that being said, let's get to the improvements we made to the game. We are sitting on 1,400 reviews on Steam, of which 92% is positive, and we spent a good amount of time reading through them in the Steam forum to see what we can do to make the game even better until release. A recurring opinion was that Ayana, our main character, was moving too slow. So we increased her speed, and when we playtested that with a couple of people, it was still too slow. So we also added a sprinting mechanic to the game. You now have a stamina bar, and you can use that to sprint for a short period of time. We also took the already existing dodge roll mechanic and made it dependent on the same stamina bar. Even better, you can level your stamina and increase the time you can sprint by using the abilities often. But be aware, sprinting does of course make you tired. Another mechanic that needed some more improvement was the water mechanic. In Above Snakes Prologue, you were able to scoop water from lakes that had predefined water spots. Each spot contained 2 water items, and after scooping those 2, you had to wait for a long time until they refresh. So in the meantime, the lake is kind of empty, I guess. This did not make a lot of sense, and therefore we brainstormed how to improve this mechanic. We came up with the following. You can now scoop water from lakes endlessly, but each scooping will decrease your fatigue a little. You can no longer scoop water if you run out of fatigue. Since this is much easier and gives you access to way more water, we changed that the water that you get from lakes is dirty at first. So you have to bring it back home to your campfire and cook it, to receive clean water. We think this mechanic now makes a lot more sense and fits well into the survival mechanics of the game. In Above Snakes, you create your world by placing these isometric tiles that we call world pieces. The biomes of each world piece need to match the adjacent biomes. As a player, you need to make sure to create transitions between biomes. An issue we found with Above Snakes Prologue was that players did not always understand why they cannot fit a world piece in a certain spot. Therefore, we now indicate the sides of a world piece that fit and the sides that don't. That should make the biome mechanic much more clear. Another thing that needed some rework was the way you created your axe and pickaxe at the start of the game. We needed to make those items craftable from the resources that are available on that world piece. Originally, you used 3 twigs to create an axe, which did not make a lot of sense. We changed the dialogue with Joanne, the first NPC character you meet in Above Snakes, to give you a flint and a piece of antler that you can use to craft your first tools. We added new 3D models for those items and now call them Primitive Axe and Primitive Pickaxe, because of the way they are made. The regular axe and pickaxe can still be crafted later in the game, and they will provide the player with some better weapon stats. We also did a lot of performance optimization to the game, and we were able to reduce its memory consumption by 50%, alongside various CPU and GPU improvements. We are now sure that the game will run well on high graphics on an average gaming PC. Some more small improvements that we did were adding a frame rate limiter, an invert camera option, the option to display PlayStation button sprites instead of the Xbox sprites if you're using a controller, support for PS5 DualSense controllers, adding more distinct 3 models to workbench and cartography table, and being able to sleep in all beds, and many more. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is how it looked like when you connected a PlayStation 5 controller to the Prologue. Also, we added an amazing animated and voiced cinematic at the beginning of the game to introduce you to the story and the setting of Above Snakes.
And from that love, a child was born. Ayana, who would eventually grow into her own.
We will also link Above Snakes Prologue in the description of the video, so you can play it and decide if you want to buy the full game on May 25th. All of the improvements we talked about are right now patched into the prologue already. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, since we will continue working on Above Snakes after May 25th, and we will also keep uploading videos of that. With that being said, I hope that you will enjoy Above Snakes and are as excited about the release of the game as we are. See you on May 25th.